Welcome to Over the Line, the football debate show by fans for fans. My name is Dave O, and joining me this evening we have Cyril, who's here to answer for Manchester United's latest developments involving Ruben Amorim, and also we've got Gav, fellow Gooner. Gents, how are we?
All good,
All
man.
good.
Yeah.
What's happened with Amarin?
Well, I'll get to that in a minute. Before I get into that, I just want to quickly read out the results as usual from the weekend games. Now, last episode we did was match week 18. Since then, we've had midweek fixtures this weekend. So let me just read out those results, and then we'll get into the Amarim stuff. So midweek fixtures, we had Burnley losing 3-1 at home to Newcastle, Chelsea drawing 2-2 with Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest losing 2-0 at home to Everton, West Ham and Brighton drawing 2-2, Arsenal beating Aston Villa 4-1, Manchester United and Wolves drawing 1-1, Crystal Palace and Fulham drawing 1-1, Leeds and Liverpool drawing 0-0 at Anfield, Brentford and Tottenham drew 0-0 at Brentford, and the final game of the midweek saw Sunderland and Man City draw 0-0. And that brings us nicely onto this weekend's results. So on Saturday, we had Aston Villa beating Nottingham Forest 3-1 at home. Villa getting back to winning ways there after the hammering Arsenal gave them. We had Brighton beat Burnley 2-0. We had Wolves absolutely hammer West Ham the Hammers 3-0 at home. West Ham looking a certainty for relegation there. They may have to change manager soon. Here in Slaven Bilic is open to coming back. We saw Bournemouth lose 3-2 at home to Arsenal. Leeds and Manchester United drew 1-1 today. Everton lost 4-2 at home to Brentford, Igor Thiago hat-trick. He is in my FPL team, by the way, so I'm happy with that. Newcastle beat Crystal Palace 2-0. Tottenham and Sunderland drew 1-1. Fulham with a last gasp equaliser to draw 2-2 at home to Liverpool. And the result that has literally just finished now saw Manchester City and Chelsea draw 1-1. So what does that mean for the table? Well, dear Gooners, what it means for us is we are sat 6 points clear at the top on 48 points. Manchester City and Aston Villa come in second and third on 42 points each. Liverpool on 34 points, who we play next. Chelsea in fifth on 31. Manchester United in sixth on 31. Brentford are up to seventh. They are now on 30 points. We've got Sunderland on 30, Newcastle on 29. And to round out the top 10, we've got Brighton on 28. So, before we talk about the fixtures this weekend, I just want to touch on quickly. So, Cyril, we're going to start with you. Ruben Amorim has come out and said effectively how he's going to see out his contract, which expires in 2027, I believe. And after that, him and the club can move on. He has said that I am here to be a manager, not a coach, effectively calling out the way that the club is being run and possibly interfering with how he wants to manage things moving forwards. Obviously, never a great sign when the manager comes out and speaks up in the manner that he has done. Cyril, the question that I have for you is, where does Amorim United go from here? Is he going to survive?
Um, it's like a bad relationship where it gets to a point where you're just thinking, when are they going to break up? Because clearly they don't want to spend money. From the sounds of it, they don't want to spend money. He needs them to spend money. Two, he's saying that he don't want to be no coach is the biggest. Like, yeah, what is that? You're smart. Read whatever I'm saying. It's basically saying to you, just read what you want to read into it. But I'm saying what I'm saying. And so
effectively, what he's doing is he's challenging the hierarchy to let him do his job without interference, basically.
Yeah, or also to give him what he was meant to be given. I think he had his assurances. He was clear. If I come in, this is how I'm going to actually run things. If you don't like it, don't put me into this. But if you're going to put me into this, I'm going to do my thing. And I think one of the things is like a lot of what he's done throughout his tenure has been, in my head anyway, is like rebelling. The game against Newcastle, started with the back four. We did decent. But then the next game, he went back to the back three, and it was like, okay, cool. Is he doing this on purpose? And then, today, Dorgu, he played him in the same position as he played with the Newcastle game. But then so a lot of the things that's not making sense when he's done them. Today, to be fair, we just didn't have, what we needed to have going forward. Really, Cunha was the one that was creating a lot for us today this game. But anyway, back to Amorim. Amorim, I think, is just throwing his prime out, his toy out of the pram, and I think he probably might need to go, because when I deep it, I know we're having this banter and all of that stuff there. The Wolves game, we should have won that.
Yeah.
I believe we should definitely win the Leeds game too. So those 2 games there, that's 4 points. If we're just playing, devil's advocate, we're 35 points, we're top 4. Like, just literally just like that. And there's been a lot of times when we've been close to getting us top 4 or 3 or whatever, 3rd or whatever else. Something happens, some game happens that we should have won or something stupid, and then we end up going back and forth. So I think that there's enough there to say that obviously once the other players are back, there's something within that team there. Even as bad as the team have been playing, we're still flirting in and around, that top 4 there. But yeah, I think with him, it gets to a point when I'm questioning his decision making. And that was what I was doing with Ten Hag. And I'm not a professional. He's the professional. But when I start questioning things which are kind of basic, logical things, it tells me something's not right again. So, but I think we've got the players around now. So I think obviously they have their vision. So if they get rid of him, whoever they bring in to obviously, I think he'll probably, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But if they do get rid of him, whoever they bring in the interim period, whatever, will do what they need to do. But I think in the summertime, bring in somebody that's going to be able to actually be able to work with these players with the style of play they want to have. And I think we'll get the midfield definitely in the summer. And then let's go again. Yeah, so.
Who would you like that to be? If Amorim goes, let's say, I think he'll see the season through, but then go in the summer, like a year early or whatever. If he goes, who do you want to see come in to replace him?
It's just who's going to be available, really.
I mean, you're Manchester United. Isn't everyone available to you?
No. Them days are done.
It's not about even them days are done. I think it's still attractive. The problem is things like this is happening right now. For example, if you're a manager coming in, you're coming in knowing here's what's happening right now. So whatever's happening with Ruben, I'm coming in thinking, is that going to be me? So,
which is why them days are done.
So it's not that them days are done, because Manchester United is still a big pool, regardless of whatever them days are done. It's still a big pool. Like you can't argue that point. You can argue that the football is not where it has been. You can argue all of these different things. You still can't take away the fact that it's Manchester United. And again, as much as you can say them days are done, we're still 6th or whatever else, flirting with top 4, flirting with, Champions League or whatever. So the reality of it is there's still the attraction to United, regardless of whatever's going on right now. And no matter how much you want to be able to discard that, that's fine. And that's your opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your opinion. But it's still Manchester United, and it's still a freaking big pool. So I think just knowing which managers are available, that's the thing. And also, what are you trying to do with the manager you bring in? Are you going for the young kind of manager like Amorim, or are you going for the Contes and those kind of managers of the world? And if you are going for those kind of people, of the kind of like people with the experience, what is it? What is the vision? Like, again, it all depends on what the direction that the club wants to go in. So I don't know.
My prediction is, if Amorim does go, and I think he will go, I reckon you're going to see names like Iraola of Bournemouth, Glasner of Crystal Palace, names like that getting linked. I think the direction Man United are probably going to go in is, I think the days of the big name manager gone. Because if you listen to what Amorim has said, he said he wants to be the manager, not the coach. So that tells me that the board are looking for a coach, not a manager. You see what I'm saying?
The thing is, I do see what you're saying. And Amorim said it. Mourinho said it. Razor Raznick, or whatever his name was, said it. Like, we're hearing the same thing. Man United, that Fergie made and then left, is done. Like, I know it's probably not nice to hear, but for me, it's the reality. Like, we're saying, from what I'm hearing, from what Cyril said, they need to spend money. I think they spent loads of money, but they need to spend money. They're not willing to spend money. The ownership don't want the manager to be in control. The players, I presume, are not good enough because you need more players, and you're not in European competition. Those things are the reasons why someone like a Conte is going to look at that and be like, "Yeah, I'm not going there." Like that pull of just having the badge on your chest is not enough, bro. It's done. Like it's. Will it come back? I'm not saying it won't, but I think we had the same conversation. I feel like I've said this last week or at least the week before that I can't see how they come back from this until there's a better plan or different owners or a lot of anomalies are sorry, a lot of boxes are ticked. Man United are not the same Man United that everyone thinks they are, or their fans think they are anyway.
I think in terms of what they're wanting, that's why I said I don't know what direction they're trying to go in terms of the manager. They want a manager, they want a coach. Like, what is that direction they're trying to go in? But then, again, said about European football is done. Well, the reality of it is, we'll see how things go by the end of the season. But like I said, we have been flirting with, and again, as much as we can be like, oh, banter, it's just, obviously you can say the same thing for any team. If they'd won this game and if they won that game, then everyone would be in a different position. Of course, we can always say that, but we can argue that for sure the Leeds, I'm not sure there's certain games that we should have definitely won. And again, based on how Amorim set the team up or whatever, we definitely lost some of those games there. So again, do I still think that we could be like right now we're flirting with that top 6? So that could easily go for anyone in that area there. There's a few teams that's up in and around that area there. Some teams actually building more momentum. Newcastle's built a bit of momentum coming into that. So there's a few teams that's in and around that 6th place. But again, like a couple of get some of our players back. Obviously, we've not done great in the past few games. But at the same time, we've had, arguably our best, as Amorim mentioned, our most creative players. The 3 top creative players have been off, and again,
Mbeumo and Bruno Fernandes. But who's the third one?
He said the stats apparently from what he was saying. Again, I'm just going up Amorim's stats. He was saying Mbeumo, Ahmad, and so those 3 the most creative. So again, I'm not here to say injuries or players off or whatever. I'm just saying, the same as you guys will normally say, oh well, if these players are back, if these players are in, I'm saying, well, if these players were in, we definitely could have obviously been in a different position. And so
without them players, were you good enough to beat Wolves?
We should have 100%. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said.
So that's our point. Like, if you're saying without them players, you shouldn't beat you may have been able to beat even a Chelsea, then fair enough. But with Wolves, you can't really use injuries or players missing.
I'm not 100. I remember if you go back to what I just said just now, I said I'm not using it. I said these are players. That game we should have won, irrespective of anything. We should have won that. But what I'm saying is bringing these players back with going into the games that we're going to actually have, that should definitely help us out a little bit more. But there's times when these players have been back, when we've had the players, when we should have won those games, and we've not won those games because of his tactics and how he set up the team. And that's the only thing that's actually really frustrating, because it's like, obviously, I don't want to be that player that fan is like, get rid of the manager, because that's not always going to be the answer, and it just can't be anyway. Like, you have to ride with it. But at the same time, he's making decisions, and I'm just like, how are you playing this? You're giving a team confidence when you play, the way you play. So I'm like, you are the manager. You play with these players. What system or whatever theory you're trying to do is going to make you not freaking win the game. Like, just win the game. But I think he like I said, from last season to even this season, I think he plays certain ways to, not purposely, but I think somehow can't be that naive.
Send a message.
Yeah, to say like this is what the team's at. When I'm like, really and truly, nah, you should be still winning that. You can't say this is the team, because the team should be good enough to actually beat Wolves. It should be good enough to be able to, like the Leeds game. These have challenged a lot of people when they've gone to Leeds this season. So whatever, but I still think we should have won that one there. We didn't look like we were really like night and day from them. So yeah.
Has these 2 results resulted in your confidence being eroded in Amorim?
It has been low-key eroding for a minute now,
was gonna say it can't be just January. It's got to be
No,
before.
it has been for a bit now. But the thing is, it's now like, okay, like what is going on, my friend? Like after that Newcastle game, and everyone, it was like everyone, the players, never mind everyone, the players, you could see that they felt they were more comfortable, and then the next game, man, just did, and I'm just like, what? I don't even get it. Like I look at Dorgu today against Leeds, and I'm like, that same Dorgu playing that same position against Wolves would have been a problem, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why did you even? And so that's the point now where I'm like, now I'm just like, whatever happens, happens. Something's gonna happen, hopefully. And if it doesn't, it's whatever it is. I'm just gonna hold on. Like I'm not getting emotional about it because it's one of them ones where it's an uncontrollable. Like whether to keep my man or get rid of my man, that's gonna be down to them lot. The bottom line is where I take my part of where I'm actually like, okay, cool, I feel confident about. I'm like, if we get another manager come in, whether it's now or in the summer, based on what we've been able to see with some of the players that we've actually got, I'm sure another manager could probably get more tune out of this team. And so if another manager can get more tune out of this team, I think we'll be in a completely different position. So that's why I'm like, I'm not really that upset. And obviously, like I said, once we get the midfield sorted out a little bit more in the summer, I think whichever manager comes in, they're going to have a decent team to play about with. Sesko, I don't think that was Amarim's guy. I'm still waiting to see where he goes with that. What he does. I can see his low on confidence today for sure. I can see his confidence. It's like it was just a guy that's just super low on confidence. But again, his age. Do we, it's the same. Do we just wait for him to get better? Is it the manager? Is it a Højlund situation where a different manager can get something out of him? I don't know at this stage.
Let me ask you something. Like, yes or no? Does Amorim make it to the end of the season?
I hope so.
No. Yes or no? Yes or no?
No.
I hope so.
I hope so in the sense of I still feel like bringing another manager in is then just going to fucking about with things again. Just get him to the end of the season. But I don't know. Like, it's not that I want him to be there. I'm not bothered either way. Like, if he stays, he stays. If he goes, it goes. Either way, my focus is we bring in more players, sort out the midfield. If we can definitely maybe swap somebody out with Sesko, because we definitely need, prolific number 9 for sure. Again, they've done it again where they've brought in
another one.
Somebody
buying striker every summer.
Just like Gyökeres. But anyway, so
we bought. That's fine.
Time with that friend because we know what the situation is for you lot as well. But what I'm saying is, they've done it again where they're spending money on not proven youngsters. So kind of the Chelsea kind of situation where they have a lot of young players amongst the team, but no quality experience in all of the different positions. So, for example, having a striker like that is great, but it should actually have somebody who's a proven,
more senior,
more senior guy.
Yeah. All right. Last question to you then before we move on and we'll talk about Arsenal, Gav. So Cyril, the bigger problem to you at Manchester United, is it the manager or is it the board, the hierarchy?
The hierarchy, I think.
Yeah.
We can't.
That's why nothing's gonna change.
We can't.
We keep. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. The reality of it is, the managers are the managers. The managers
they're the coaches.
They've gone on to in other places, X, Y, Z. We know the managers. It's definitely the board. No, that's not even the board. The thing is, if you think about the people that we've brought in, these are professionals. These are people who've done well in other places. But again, it doesn't matter if they've done well in other places. Wilcox and what's his name? The other guy from City. Like, so these are people.
Is it Barada?
Yeah. So these are people who are proven in other places. So, but if you come into a club and the owner is still telling those people how to operate, it doesn't matter what your quality is. It's like if you're a player and the manager who's managing the player is telling the player to play in that position, even though the player will naturally play in a different position. So I don't know if they're yes men, if there's things going back and forth. This I don't know what's really happening in the background there, but definitely the owners are ultimately, and Ineos, I don't know. They're the footballing operations apparently, so I know it's not they're the footballing operations, but again, I'm not sure what their plan is, and clearly the manager who is now saying he's not a manager, he's a manager, he's not a coach. Clearly, whatever he was promised or what conversation I was had with him is different to what's happening right now. So again, that comes back down to the ownership. So.
Okay,
go on. Can I just say quickly, like, we just keep on hearing the same thing. Like, I don't, and to be fair on Cyril, yeah, he's not the only Man United fan out hearing this, but it's like I constantly hit. It's like watching a ball bounce from different places and just constantly going around in a circle because it was, oh yeah, we need to get Ineos in. Once we get Ineos in, they'll sort everything out. Oh no, we need to get rid of Ten Hag. They got rid of Ten Hag. After we need to get a sporting director. Oh, we got the wrong sporting director. We got another sporting director. Now we got Amorim. Amorim's going to do it. We need to get rid of Amorim. And now we're back to the owners again. But the owners are the ones that you said were going to be the ones to turn everything around in Ineos. But now Ineos don't know what, like, I don't buy the idea of getting another manager in, fixing anything. Like, I don't think it's going to get moved again to whenever you get the new manager in, he's going to become a problem. And the same thing's going to go on again. And it's going to be all that hype. We're going to get the man in the summer. Oh, we just need this player. We need that player. We're going to get these players. We'll be challenging top four. Now we're here and it's like, oh shit, no, we actually need a new manager. But you just got the new manager that's meant to bring you trophies. He was saying he's here to win the Premier League. But now he's saying he wants to be a manager and a coach. He's leaving in 18 months. So it's a merry-go-round. It's embarrassing.
Fair point. Okay, cool. Here's so my point in response to that is this. Right, certain times, when you have a player that goes onto the pitch, and they say, "Oh, it's the manager," but you're the player. When you're on that pitch, there, you gotta perform. Like, end of the day, whatever happens, you gotta perform. If you're a striker like Gyökeres, they're saying about obviously the team has to fit with him and blah blah blah. But ultimately, you're a professional, you're a player. Your job is to score. Like, find a way to be able to get on the goal, to get in the positions.
Cool. But the difference is...
Right, so no, finish. So with that point there, if that's what I'm saying about Gyökeres, that's the expectation that we normally have of him. With Amorim, I'm saying I have the same expectation of him. Like, he does have the players. He had those same players that he played today with Leeds, was the same players that he played with Wolves. He made a decision of how the team was set up. That part there was in his control. And he didn't set it up right for us to be able to play the way we played against Wolves. So the point of what I'm saying is that's on Amorim. That's not on the owners. However, I
completely understand.
Your makings is factual, is true. I agree with it. Irrespective of whatever, when Ineos came in, the expectation was that Ineos are going to be different from the Glazers. Ineos are going to move in a much better way or whatever else. They can see what's happening with the Glazers. They're going to come with a better plan. They're going to have to, they brought in better people. All of the things seems to be, kind of like moving in the right direction. But clearly with things that's happening in the background, there's things obviously happening that's bringing us back to the same position. But in terms of what happened the past few games, that's Amorim. He's got those players on there. If he's saying, I haven't got the players, so therefore I can't. No, you just freaking win. Like we've been saying to you, I've been saying to you, if you don't win, via header, via someone, the ball hitting someone's bum and going into the goal, it don't matter. It's like it's still 3 points. You move on to the next game, you win, you recoup. You get injured. Players come back from injuries, X, Y, Z. Things will happen. You still make it work. He's not making it work with what he actually has. That's the reason why I'm calling him out, not because of anything else.
Do you know what? Right, I've said this before, and you can attest to my position on this. I'm not worried about Man United. Like, as an Arsenal fan, right, and I don't say that because they're crap. I'm not worried about them. What I mean is that I think this team is going to come good. Like eventually, I don't see the problems being as.
What do you define as come good? What do you think? What do you see them doing?
You know what? Like, if Nigel is correct in that, once this season is done, Man United's FFP refreshes and they get that spending power back that they can go out and do what they need to do. Yeah, I think if they get that midfield sorted, bro, I think Man United's problems on pitch is as simple as getting that midfield sorted. Right, you're playing with your best number 10 in central midfield for starters, and he's being partnered with fucking Casemiro or Ugarte, who I told you guys before you signed him weren't
He's terrible.
right?
He's terrible. Yeah? He's another one they gassed up. We just need to get Ugarte. We'll be fine.
But I think their problems is as simple as just getting that midfield sorted. And I think that's what they're going to do this summer. So I think United will be fine. Are they going to get back to what they were once upon a time? No. Reason being, there's too much competition now. Liverpool are there. City are there. Chelsea pretend to be there every now and again. But as you've seen today, they're capable of getting results. Man City, Arsenal, Aston Villa now, Newcastle in and around it. Spurs ever get their act together. So the league is more competitive. Teams have more spending power. So it's never going to be what it once was when it was just Man United, Arsenal, and Liverpool here and there, right? But I do think Man United are going to be okay. I think they're going to be fine. Title challenge, I don't know. We got to see what they do in the summer and then build from that, etc., etc., etc. I just don't think that. I think a lot of what's going on and the perception we have of Man United is being driven by the media. I really do genuinely believe that. That's this club in crisis. I don't buy it.
Depends what you see as a crisis. To their standard, they're in a crisis, in my opinion. Because I grew up on a different type of Man United, and we'll take away from United. Look at Chelsea. The Chelsea during the Abramovich era is a different Chelsea before and a different Chelsea to what they are now. And I just think it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing happening with United. The United that was there, Fergie didn't own the gaff, but he ran the gaff from top to bottom. And since he's left, it's just gone down and down and down. And unless they try and get a new rebore of Fergie, it's not going to be that again. Like them days are done.
In saying that, right, you sound as if you have absolutely no faith if everything remains as is, if Amorim stays and if the board stays, or even if the board stays and the manager changes. You sound as if you have absolutely no faith in United being able to get back to challenging where they and their fans feel that they should be. I'm on the opposite side of that.
I hear what you're saying. I don't agree. I hear because we keep hearing these things. We just need this. We just need that. We just need this. We just need that. You need a manager that knows what he's doing. Okay, so how are they going to get that? They need to be able to identify said manager. Then they need to be able to support said manager. And these are people that are above the manager's head. These are people that are creaming money out of Man United every single year. And that's where the problem is. I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. The Cronkies, when we thought the Cronkies weren't doing what... In fact, let's have it right about Arsenal, yeah? The Cronkies only had part ownership and they refused to spend any money. As soon as they got full ownership, they started spending money. Before they had that, we was on a downward spiral. We was finished. No matter what we did, we got Emery, and Emery never... I don't rate him, but Emery never had a good go. Let's be honest. Arteta came in and he was... I don't know if he came in just after or just before the Cronkies took full ownership. Ever since then, bang, we're in and amongst the title chat. We're in and amongst where United fans would want to be next, at least. If not, that's their goal, to be up there doing what we're doing. With them guys in charge, with them man that bald head and ponytail at the back, they're nuts, bro. With them man in charge, nothing's changing. Nothing is changing. Don't get me wrong. If they go and sell it to some oil merchants that need to wash some money, then fair enough. Like, put your hands up. It'll all be good. But right now, I can't see it.
The Cronkies took over fully in 2018. So that was before Arteta got there. So Emery
just year before
wasn't charged. Now, I did say, based on how they run their American franchises, once they get full ownership of a team, that's when they put money in, and you know, it is happening. And it's the perfect transition to now go from Manchester United. Thank you for your insight there, Cyril. To now talk about a club who is on the opposite scale to where Manchester United is, and that's Arsenal. So, last two results, Gav, we've beaten Aston Villa 4-1.
Light work.
You know, light work. And then we've gone and beaten Bournemouth 3-2 away from home, which many teams, maybe, we'll see how they function without Semenyo. And by the way, fuck you to Man City for letting them keep Semenyo a bit longer to try and do something against us. But whatever.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it is what
we're
it is.
beating Villa, we're beating Bournemouth. Not many teams are going to do that this season, right? We now sit 6 points clear at the top. We're going to talk about in the next segment, in the final segment, about reprising our predictions for the Premier League, you know, from the summer. But from what you've seen, Gav, right, it feels as if the Premier League is I don't want to get ahead of myself and say that it's asked,
Do it.
right?
Join me,
However,
bro.
I'm
Join
gonna
me,
let
bro.
I'm gonna let you do that. From what you've seen from today's results, beating Villa, City dropping points, like how confident are you now that this is going to be our year?
My confidence level was 9.9. I'm now at 10.2. That's where I'm at out of 10. I'm at 10.2 out of 10. This is our title. This is our year. It was written. Yeah, it was written. This is our season. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. Today I was celebrating a Chelsea goal about what, half an hour ago, like it was Arsenal. Like, it's beautiful what's going on. We're getting results. We're getting results. Every game apart from Liverpool, we've scored in. These like them man that struggled to score against Sunderland. Could you imagine if it was us? I'd have been fuming. They struggled to score against Sunderland. We're still defensively sound, even where we're not as good as we've been. We're still a struggle to score against. We either got to gift you a goal or you got to score a worldie, like the 2 goals. Yes, that describes the 2 goals yesterday. The mentality of the team, the depth of the team. Madueke, I don't hear no Madueke banter. I don't hear no Madueke banter because he's coming in there, tearing it up, creating goals. Then yeah, come off, bro. We got another guy. His name's Saka. He's gonna come on and he's gonna set up a goal as well. Declan Rice, Ballon d'Or conversation. Yeah, Cyril, we're gonna talk about that at some point in the next 12 months. I can feel it, and I'm telling you, bro. Listen, we're in a special place. We're in a special place. I don't know if we're going to do anything in January. It's 1st January I've been in, and I'm thinking we don't need anyone. I'm actually cool. I'm not even thinking about it. I don't think we need anyone. No. Would I say no? No, of course not. But when I'm looking around at the other teams, there's no position like last year when we needed a striker. We desperately needed a striker. There's been seasons when we've desperately needed a player. But for me, it's almost like it's going to upset the apple cart because people are looking at the Eze situation, which I don't know if you want to touch on, but and then you've got Wanyeri who's not even making a squad now. We've got loads of defenders. Maybe do we need another defender? But then I can't even see where because Guehi, if we get him, I'm going to be over the moon. But where does he fit? So I don't want to be too greedy. I think in the summer do some ins and outs and whatever. But I'm not desperate to sign anyone. Bro,
here's what I'd like to see. Right?
Sorry. Last season, one of my boys, a Liverpool fan, said he recalls that they were 5 points clear with 20 games to go. We're 6 points clear with 20 games to go. He thinks it's over. So if Liverpool ran away with it last season, they were a point behind where we were at where we are at the same time. I don't want to hear no one tell me that I'm wrong for being confident because who's going to catch us? I don't see anyone catching us. I don't see the City team catching us, and then they're the only ones in it. Go on.
Boy, I'm not going to go that far, man. But what I would say though, what I'd like to see in January, like you mentioned, Guehi. Now, if replaced Guehi with any old centre back, right, for the left side. I'd like to see us bring in, let's say, Guehi or another left-sided defender because for me, I feel that we need 2 areas of strengthening, right? Forget the left wing, forget the striker, forget the attacking positions. It's not going to happen. I think we need another body in midfield because Rice and Zubimendi are simply playing too many minutes, right?
I'd agree with that.
Then I would say that the way that we can counteract that is if we bring in a left-sided centre back like Guehi, okay, have him deputising for Gabriel. On the right side, you've got Saliba and Mosquera deputising for each other. At right back, you've got Timber, Ben White, right? What that means is that we can now move Hincapié to his more natural position, in my opinion, which is left back. You have him and Calafiori rotating. You then take Lewis Skelly and put him into his natural position, which is midfield. I think you bring in that centre back and you move Skelly into midfield. We've sorted out 2 positions. I'd like to see us do that if possible. Now, on to your next points about who's going to catch us. I still think City are dangerous. Number one, like Cyril has said many times in the past, they have the know-how, they have the experience. They have that robot up front in Haaland, albeit he hasn't scored the past 2 games. However, Rodri has just got to come back to full fitness, and I think that he is going to make a massive difference to that team. I hope he doesn't, but if he comes back to the Rodri of old, boy, he is a big game player, former Ballon d'Or winner, whether you think he should have won it or not. So I still think City have something to talk about in this title race. It's teetering now where one more adverse result for City and a positive one for us. You're now looking at 9 points. At that point, I may join you and be like, yeah, it's pretty much done. But while it's 6 points and we've got Liverpool next, I can't jump on that bandwagon just yet. Cyril, what about you? How are you seeing it?
So here's the thing, where play ugly and win, you win. 3 points is all that matters. There have been some games, where at some points you guys have been playing too good, right? And so in those games where you've not played too good, just, again, obviously if you win, you win. Like, for example, last season, or in other seasons, some of those games are the games that you would have lost, but you've won. So again, that's a positive. But again, there's some games where it showed that you could have lost some of those games. And if in those scenarios you had lost those games or dropped, then again, with City doing the opposite, which can also happen, we just can't. I don't know. I hear why Gavin thinks what he thinks, and it's not logically. Again, if we go back to this logic, his logic makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, the logic is still, it's football. Anything can actually happen. So, and I just think that we have to wait to see what happens. I think City do still have something there. For City, I think one of those things is kind of with them, it's not necessarily they need new signings per se. It's just that they, for example, Foden, if Foden turns up, that could be a problem, and you've seen some of the games when he did show up, it was a problem. They're potentially getting Semenyo. So again, let's see how that plays out into their team or whatever. But what I'm saying is, like, they don't necessarily need to buy new players, but some of the players they actually have could obviously turn up. So, for example, like when you said Jesus came back and he was like a new signing, you need to buy a new player, but it's just him coming in, like you guys say, helps the team to play differently, X, Y, Z. No difference to City's, and so they've got Mamouche still there. I don't know why he's not playing or whatever. City have it. Huh?
I thought it was the African Cup of Nations. I might be wrong.
Is he there?
I don't know. To be honest,
I don't know because he wasn't playing before, but it might be there. Yeah, but anyway, point being is exactly even like that. Even if it's away and he comes back, they still have players in there. So that's why I'm like, and Arsenal. I've always said, although Gavin thinks I hate them, I've always said, if they do what they need to do, again, logically, I will never be that person that can't say, oh, they've done what they're meant to do and then I'm going to, not give it ratings. They've proven, like I said, games where they would have lost, you guys are winning those games. Can't argue that that's a positive. So all we just got to now just do is just let the season play out. Again, games like today, it was a draw, but Arsenal drew against Chelsea. So, when one thing that came up
from home, away from home, we was away.
I'm just saying it's still the same team, regardless of home away or whatever. Yeah, sometimes you're gonna have a little bit of advantage.
Massive difference, man.
It's still a draw. It's still the same team, and it was still a draw. Do you know what I mean? So obviously that's the game they should have obviously won, but it can go to Stamford Bridge and win the game there. So that's what I'm saying is, like, it could happen either way anyway. With this kind of teams, it can happen either way. Like, you can expect Liverpool to go to Emirates, when they come to you guys. You expect Arsenal to win, but you won't be also surprised if Liverpool win as well, because they're capable of actually beating, any team. Yeah. So it's just one of those situations. So that's where I'm like, let's see how things play out. Probably for you lot, the games where you were losing with some of the lower teams, you're not losing those games anymore, this season. And those are the games which is getting you those points. I think Kunde posted something up, I don't know if it was yesterday or today or whatever, some of the teams that you guys lost away to. Well, I think there was 4 teams that's 12 points.
Mm.
Those same teams, you've won those games, or you've won the season. That's 12 points. It makes a massive difference when you look at it from that perspective. It doesn't necessarily have to be go to City and beat City, go to this place and beat that person. It's just about making sure you just don't lose those games, but then getting points from the teams, when you go to them, like you go to the Bournemouths or the Evertons, and winning those games there, that's what, helps you to get those 6 points, difference. And that wins the league.
Okay.
It's not even about us. It's not even about our results, to be fair. Like, I'm sure, and correct me where I'm wrong, people talk about us beating the bigger teams. Obviously, John spoke about it. But what big teams are City's beating this season?
That's a good question. Hold on, let me quickly bring up their results. I'll tell you in a sec.
They drew with us. They just drew with Chelsea. They got beat by Tottenham.
They beat
sure.
United.
Okay, that's the big teams.
Can never take it away.
They beat Liverpool 3-0.
Okay, I forgot about that result. You're right.
Yeah.
At home.
At home.
We might beat Liverpool at home. I'm just saying my point there is City aren't doing nothing. I hear when people talk about, but they've done it before and like a lot of the players that done that, and a lot of the players that, like, it's like me saying, we're gonna go invincible because we've done it before. Like, it's not relevant anymore.
No.
The players aren't. It is. It's the same thing.
No,
because
it's not.
Why is it? Explain the difference, please.
Okay, are there players that played in the Invincibles that are playing from Arsenal right now?
None. You're right. Majority of the ones that have done, majority of the ones. Hang on. The majority of the ones that have dominated in the City teams, like people are talking about, aren't there no more, or they're aging. I hear the Rodri talk, but Rodri ain't Rodri anymore. I heard when everyone was gassed because Gundogan was coming back to City. I didn't see nothing from him. Company was a massive reason why City were dominating. He's a manager now. He might be their manager next season. Like this historic thought of City, and obviously Pep's done it, and I rate Pep highly. It is historic, bro. Anything past today is history. It's not today. So right now, that's it.
I'll let you finish. My bad.
Right now, that City team that everyone is so fearful of is a figment of people's imagination. The same way the Arsenal team that everyone thinks is bottling it and would have expected us to bottle the last. Bro, are we not seeing what happened over the Christmas period? And this is what annoys me about revisionism. Yeah, everyone was telling us we're going into the Christmas period. It's gonna be hectic. We're gonna drop points. You're bound to drop. We did our thing. That's not going to change people's minds into thinking that actually maybe this Arsenal team's actually going to go on and do it. It does mine. I'm watching what's actually going on. I'm not trying to be caught up in the yesteryear. And I'm seeing City play Chelsea at home, who have just lost their manager. They're a bunch of kids and they're dropping points. That's not the City that everyone's saying that. Remember Pep said in November, this is when the title race starts. Well, go on today, Pep. You're not racing. Is this a pit stop? What are we doing? The race is on. We've gone on. We put pressure on them. And again, if it was the other way around, people would say Arsenal are bottling it. If we played the day after City did, City have beaten Bournemouth away, and they've won in the fashion that we won, and then we played Chelsea at home and conceded in the last minute, people would be saying you're bottling it again. You had your chance to catch them, and you had your chance to gain some ground on them, and you didn't. You can't keep up with them. But when it's the other way around, but they're Man City. But they're not the Man City that you lot are talking about, because they ain't doing what they're meant to do. And the Sunderland game as well. We forgot about that. Arsenal went and battered Villa, who everyone was saying was in the title race. Mm-hmm. If City done that, and then Arsenal went and played Sunderland, who had a bag of players away for AFCON, and drop points again without scoring a goal, people be saying we bottled it. Let alone do both them things in the same week. No one can convince me it's the same City. It's just a badge. It's just a kit.
Completely fine with what you're saying. Where I'm coming with the points I'm making is something you're completely right about that. If it was the other way around right now, and it was Arsenal that was chasing, and those two things happened to Arsenal, everyone would be saying Arsenal are doing it again because of what we've seen already. We've seen in the past. That's the reason why. Now, the reason why people can say Man City, the comparison you made between Invincibles and Man City, who've been in the Premier League, is very different. 2 seasons ago, they won it, and they also won Champions League as well. But the players that are still there that have won the Premier League,
Champions League actually.
Okay, whichever season they've won the Premier League. Okay, so who's still there? There's won the Premier League. So still there. There's won the Premier League. We have
from the back.
Okay.
Edison's gone.
Okay, no.
Edison's gone. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to. All right, so I'm trying to go through it. So the keeper's different. Who out the back four's left? Say again.
Diaz is there. Ake is there. Stones is there, even though he's not been played. But these players are still within the club.
So why Stones not playing? Because he's not the same Stones. But anyway, that's two. We're going to talk about players that actually have influence. But if you want to include Stones, and I think the same with Rodri.
So stop before you're making about influence. I remember there was a time when you mentioned when players came to Arsenal who had won something. It was like they've won something, so they've got experience of winning something. So that counts in the club, in the dressing room.
Enough. You're right. Okay? It does. So John Stones is there.
Players who
John Stones is the reason they won the league. Well, okay, go on.
No. I'm saying if that counts for players who won something from other teams and not at Arsenal, but they came to Arsenal, you thought that could help. That
I remember the point, but I'm talking about City. Go on. What else? What are you saying about City?
But the point being, if those players who've not won anything at Arsenal came to Arsenal and based on their experience can still be able to bring that experience into the club, what about the manager who's won all those titles and led the team to that? What about the manager who's been in positions where they've been chasing, at this time of the year and won something from that? What about the manager who's got the players, including Haaland, who's won something, Foden, who's won something, Diaz, what's his name? This Portuguese captain, I was the captain today. Like, there's still players, there's still players within that. Of course, they're not the same team, of same caliber from,
And that's my point. But that's my whole point. Whatever. They're not the same caliber.
They're not the same caliber.
Let me put it this way. Let me put it another way then. If Arsenal win the league this season, yeah, but then Gabriel leaves, Rice leaves, Saka leaves, Odegaard leaves, are we going to be able to say it's the same Arsenal, we're going to go and do it again? Everyone will be saying, why did you lost your best players?
I would be still saying that whoever's remaining still has that experience of winning. Because they've
okay, cool.
I understand the point you're making. I understand the point you're making. I see your thought process. But what I'm saying is that I'd still be like, those players have won. If Arteta was still there and he's gone through that experience or whatever, you can't just knock that away. Now, again, does it mean that if you knew some of those key, cogs within the team, is it going to be the same team? Not necessarily, but the players and the experience is still there. And that is the thing that, for example, if you look at what's this guy called? We even said it just now. We said about, with Chelsea and even with United, if we had some players with experience, playing those positions, experience matters in a lot of things. Same thing as if, Casemiro, people talk about Casemiro's experience of winning this and this, it still plays a big part. Maguire still plays a big part. It's because of the experience, it plays a part in the team. So that's the only point I'm making is that these players still have that experience. They still have that stuff there. They've still won it before. So yes, 6 points is 6 points. It's a gap. But it doesn't necessarily mean that, it can't be done. Now, does Arsenal look like they're going to win it? 100%. It will be crazy for someone to be like, no, Arsenal ain't going to win it, or Arsenal don't stand a chance with winning it. But anything can happen. But for now, yeah, Arsenal look like the clear favourites. So on that second note, do we go into the
Yeah. I like that little segue. That's my job, by the way, but I like it. So right. So we're moving on to the final part of the show, okay, where when we have Nigel and the other ones back, we'll give them a chance to possibly revisit their predictions as well. However, I've got Cyril, I've got Gav with me tonight, so I'm gonna offer you guys the opportunity to redo your predictions now. Before we address what your new predictions may or may not be, let's have a review of what your old ones were. Okay, so Gav, before the transfer window shut, your prediction was Arsenal first, Liverpool second, Chelsea third, Man City fourth. This was Yeah, this was actually after the window shut, right? Before the window shut, your prediction was Arsenal first, City second, Chelsea third, Liverpool fourth. Cyril, your prediction, and you only done your prediction after the window shut. You didn't do this. We didn't have you on to do it before. So after the window shut, your prediction was Man City first, Liverpool second, Arsenal third, Chelsea fourth. Okay. And you also made a prediction that Manchester United were going to be in a title challenge. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll come to Gav first because I want Cyril to sit on that for a little bit. Gav, when it comes to you first, do you want to change your predictions or are you happy to
Yeah,
stay?
I want to go. Maresca's messed me up, but I got it right. Look, I feel like I was pretty accurate the first time round. And what happened was we lost to Liverpool, and I got my head spun with their transfer window or the end of their transfer window, and I didn't go with my gut. But I think pretty much the same. But I don't know who's going to get that third spot. I don't think it'll be Liverpool. It may be Villa, but I don't trust Emery. I think I said that on the last episode. I don't trust Emery. But for the sake of the predictions, I'll put everything the same as my initial prediction before the window shut, but replace Chelsea with Villa.
So you're now going from Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Liverpool to Arsenal, City, Villa, Liverpool.
I think so. Yeah, I think Emery might be able to do it. So I don't know about that guy, but I think he might be able to do it. Yeah.
All right.
Third and fourth could swap around either way, but yeah.
All right. Let me talk about my prediction, and then we'll give Cyril his opportunity because I think he's gonna have a lot to say. So my prediction before the window shut, yeah, I had Arsenal first, Liverpool second. I had Chelsea third, City fourth, and predicted Newcastle to possibly challenge for fourth. After the window shut, I said Liverpool first. Again, them transfers that they made spun my head. Arsenal second, and then I still had Chelsea third and City fourth. I'm gonna want to change my prediction to Liverpool first. I'm joking. I'm gonna say Arsenal first. Arsenal first. I don't like saying it. I don't like saying it, and I know I'm not comfortable saying it, but I don't like doing it. But I'm gonna say Arsenal first. I'm gonna say Man City second. I think Liverpool are gonna get third. I do think Liverpool are gonna get third, and that's because I don't trust that Villa are gonna be able to keep up this. If you look into the stats and performances and whatnot, Villa have been quite lucky to get some of the results that they have been. Again, I don't trust Emery. You know, what are they going to look like when the European campaign picks up a little bit more? So I'm going to say Liverpool third because it's Liverpool. They still, as bad as they've been, right? Liverpool are currently sat in fourth spot on. Let me quickly bring up the table here. They are on 34 points, so they're 8 points behind Villa. Yeah, they're not making that gap. Villa third. They're not making that gap. Villa third. Okay, Liverpool fourth. I think how the table is now is how it's going to be. I will say this though. I do think Chelsea and Man United can make noise for that fourth spot. I do think that they can do.
It's looking techie. Yeah, maybe.
I think they can do. On that note, Cyril, let's have you go. Do you want to keep your predictions as is, or do you want to change?
So my prediction is
just say it, bro. It won't hurt. Say it. It's fine.
I'm gonna go. I have to because I have to stay
Logical.
way. Logically versus what I'm going to say is probably going to be two different things. But I'm gonna say City.
Oh, this guy.
I'm gonna say City. I'm gonna say Arsenal. I was gonna say Liverpool then Villa, most likely. So City, Arsenal. I'm gonna go for Liverpool then Villa, and I think United probably could be at fifth.
So you think Liverpool going to catch Villa?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
You think City
So
going to catch Arsenal?
We've all probably got the top four the same. Then it's just slightly
Yeah.
different ordering. Okay, cool. All right, it'd be interesting. I mean, boy, January could play a big part in what happens, because if Villa do get some reinforcements in that they're looking to, I think they may have that third spot, possibly second, cemented. So yeah, it'll be interesting. On that note, I'm going to end the episode there. The next opportunity we have to reconvene, I think it's going to be, well, we've got midweek games. Oh, we've got some big midweek games. We've got big games. We've got Man City at home to Everton. Man City at home to Brighton. Man United away at Burnley, and Arsenal at home to Liverpool. And then after that, I think we'll probably reconvene a week today, next week Sunday. We've got the Manchester Derby. Come on, United at home to Man City. We've got Chelsea at home to Brentford, a bit of a West London derby there. Liverpool at home to Burnley. Arsenal away at Nottingham Forest. And then the Monday game sees Brighton hosting Bournemouth. So we should possibly do this again next week Sunday. So on that note, gents, I want to thank you for joining me this evening. To all the viewers that have been there prior and are still here now, thank you for watching and sticking with us for this long. Click that like, click that subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode of Over the Line. Thank you.